Heat. Stagnant trapped air. Dust motes dancing in the slanted afternoon light inside the cabin. My fingers scraping blindly under the passenger seat, searching for rough leather, touching something else entirely. Paper. Crinkled. And inside the bag, something spilling out. Too soft. I pull it up into the glare of the sun. A white collar. Tiny sleeves. Fabric so impossibly small it could fit inside my cupped hands. Cotton. A clear plastic box tumbles out onto the floor mat. A pacifier. Light blue. A thin paper receipt flutters down next to it. Smudged black ink. Bye, bye, baby. Paid in cash. 3 days ago. I sit back against the driver's seat. The CVS parking lot outside the windshield keeps moving. People pushing metal carts. Sun glaring off chrome bumpers. Everything normal. Everything loud. But inside the car, the silence rings in my ears. I am 31 years old. I teach 3rd grade. I spend my days breaking down complex math into simple subtraction. But right now, my brain cannot process the simplest addition. My husband is inside our house right now. I am sitting in his car because mine is at the mechanic. I just needed my wallet to buy prenatal vitamins. I still take them. I swallow them every morning to prepare my body for round 3 of in vitro fertilization. My mind frantically builds bridges, a baby shower for a coworker. But Garrett hates office showers. He avoids them. He calls them awkward and forced, a charity donation. But the receipt is from a high-end boutique paid in untraceable cash. Who hides a charity donation wedged deep inside the seat crack? A physical jolt hits my ribs. My breath hitches. Round 3. Is he surprising me? Is this his way of telling me we have enough money saved to try again? The hope is an absolute reflex. It is Pavlovian. And it hurts fiercely. 2 failed rounds taught me that hope is the only thing keeping me standing and the very thing that destroys me. I look at the pacifier again. Light blue. We never talked about colors. He always rubbed my stomach and whispered that we would love whatever came to us. My phone vibrates in the cup holder. Plastic rattling against plastic. The screen says Garrett. I answer. My voice sounds hollow. Hello. Did you find your wallet? He asks. The connection is perfectly clear. I need the car soon. I promised to help Tori move a few boxes to her new apartment. Tori, his former IT coworker. She is going through a rough patch, babe, he told me last month. She is like a sister to me. She needs a friend. I look at the tiny white outfit resting on my knees. I look at the word cash printed in dot matrix ink. Who pays cash for a sister? Who folds it and shoves it where no one is meant to look? I fold the cotton. I match the creases perfectly. I slide the outfit and the pacifier back into the paper bag. I push my hand deep into the dark crevice between the cushion and the backrest. I leave it exactly the way the hidden hands left it. I found the wallet, I say. I am heading home. My eyes are completely dry. My left hand grips the steering wheel until the knuckles turn white. My right hand touches the outside of my purse. Deep inside the main pocket is a faded ultrasound photo from our second failed cycle. I keep it because I believe in the next time. When I walk through the front door, the house smells like roasted chicken and normalcy. Garrett walks into the hallway. He leans down and kisses my forehead. His lips are warm. Are you feeling okay? He asks. You look pale. I tell him I am just tired from the heat. I walk past him. Later that evening, Garrett sits on the living room sofa. The television plays a baseball game on low volume. His phone rests on the wooden coffee table. Face down. It is always face down lately. A sharp chime cuts through the quiet. A short, distinct bell sound. A Zelle notification. Garrett picks up the phone immediately. He does not unlock it with his face. He types a passcode. Just work, he says. Checking in on a server migration. That night, I lie in our bed, staring up at the dark ceiling. Garrett is asleep beside me. His chest rises and falls in a steady, peaceful rhythm. I listen to him breathe. The word cash repeats in my head. The blue plastic, the sharp chime of the Zelle alert. The phrase, like a sister. On Sunday afternoon, Garrett puts on his sneakers. He says he needs 5 hours to help Tori assemble some bookshelves. I watch him walk out the door. The house is empty. I walk into the bedroom. I get down on the carpet and pull a cardboard shoebox from the far corner under our bed. I open the lid. Inside are the needles. 63 of them. I count them out, touching the plastic caps. Every single one represents a morning. I woke up in the dark, mixed the hormone vials, and pushed the sharp point into the bruised skin of my own stomach. I did it while Garrett slept. When he found the box, he told me keeping them was morbid. You need to let go, he said. But I told him every needle was a piece of my dedication. Garrett returns just before dinner. The front door shuts. He walks into the kitchen and leans in to kiss my cheek. I stop breathing. I smell something floral, sweet and powdery. It is absolutely not my perfume. I only wear light citrus scents. What kind of perfume does Tori wear? I ask. Garrett stops pouring his water. He turns to me and laughs. A warm, easy, deeply comforting sound. Babe, you are overthinking again. She is like a sister. Sisters hug. You know I only have eyes for you. You are wearing a different shirt, I say. My voice drops lower. The shirt you left in was a gray crew neck. This one is a blue button down. Tori has a long-haired cat, he says smoothly. He takes a drink of water. I got cat hair all over my good shirt. I changed at her place before I drove back so I would not drag it into our house. You have clean clothes sitting at her apartment, a small pause. Barely half a second. She lent me her ex-husband's shirt. She had it in a donation bin. I look at the man I married 6 years ago. He has a clean jawline and a steady, open gaze. He looks like a man telling a boring truth. But Tori does not have an ex-husband. Garrett told me her entire history when he first introduced us at a company dinner. She was single. She had a messy breakup with a boyfriend from college. She was never married. There is no ex-husband. There is no donation bin. There is only the lie standing in my kitchen drinking a glass of water. Monday morning arrives with gray skies. Garrett leaves for his tech office at 8 o'clock. He makes $95,000 a year managing projects. I make $42,000 teaching children how to read. From the very first year of our marriage, he managed all the accounts. He told me I am better with numbers, let me handle the stress of the bills. And I let him, because I wanted peace. Because my mother let my father handle the money, and when she got sick with cancer, we found out there was nothing left. I promised myself I would not be blind like her, but Garrett made it so easy to close my eyes. I walk into his home office holding his empty coffee mug. I always tidy his desk. It is a habit of care. On the bottom edge of his large computer monitor is a yellow, sticky note. The handwriting is messy. Wi-Fi password, Netflix password, bank login and password. I stand in the quiet room. The computer screen is black. My reflection stares back at me. I do not touch the keyboard. Not yet. Am I making this up? Garrett tells me constantly that I overanalyze everything. He says the anxiety is exactly why my body rejects the fertility treatments. Relax, babe, he says after every failed cycle. Stress makes it worse. Maybe he is right. Maybe the hormones are clouding my judgment. I pull out my phone and dial Nina Vance. She is a family lawyer with an office in downtown Asheville. But more importantly, she was my mother's oldest friend. She held my hand at the funeral 12 years ago. She promised my mother she would look out for me. Nina, I say when she answers. Her office phone clicks. If a wife suspects her husband of something, what do you usually tell her to do? Silence on the line, heavy and thick. Her lawyer voice drops away. You did not call me for a hypothetical scenario. Tell me what happened. I tell her everything. The hidden onesie in the back seat, the cash receipt, the strange perfume, the changed shirt, the non-existent ex-husband, and the phrase, like a sister. Nina takes a slow, deep breath. The sound rasps against the phone speaker. Honey, like a sister is the exact phrase my ex-husband used when I asked him about his assistant. Every single word. My throat closes tight. The room seems to tilt. Do not confront him, Nina says. Her voice is sharp now, clinical. Do not ask questions. Do not let him know you are looking. If you tip him off, the evidence disappears. Step 1 is the money. Look at the money. We hang up. I stand in the home office. I look at the yellow sticky note on the monitor. He left it out in the open because he truly believes I am too devastated by my own failures to ever look. He thinks I am too stupid to check. 3 days pass. It is Wednesday morning. 6 a.m. The sky outside is pitch black. I walk into our master bathroom. The square tiles are freezing against my bare feet. I open the mirrored medicine cabinet to get my daily prenatal vitamins. My fingers are clumsy. The plastic bottle slips from my grip. It hits the marble counter, bounces and rolls off the edge. It drops into the narrow, dusty space between the toilet and the drywall. I sigh. I get down on my hands and knees. I press my cheek against the cold porcelain tank and reach my arm into the dark shadow. My fingers brush the smooth plastic of the vitamin bottle. But they also touch something else. Something flat. A thin plastic stick. I pull it out into the bright bathroom light. A pregnancy test. 2 pink lines. I stare at it. The plastic casing is cold. The 2 pink lines in the little window are sharp and bright. They are not faded by time. This is recent. My brain completely stalls. This cannot be mine. I track my cycle on a dedicated application every single day. For 2 long years, I have not missed logging a single morning temperature. I know my body better than I know my own name. I am absolutely not pregnant. Who uses this bathroom? Only 2 people live in this house. Garrett has no reason to take a pregnancy test. Tori. Tori has been in this house. Tori used my personal bathroom. Tori took a test in my home and dropped the positive result behind my toilet. I sit back on the hard tile floor. I hold the vitamin bottle in my left hand. I hold the positive test in my right hand. 2 objects. One represents the child I desperately want but cannot have. The other represents my stomach drops. A cold, rushing wave washes over my ribs and settles in my lungs. My mind tries one final pathetic time to protect my reality. Maybe Garrett bought it for her because she was skiing and wanted to test away from her own apartment. Maybe she needed a friend to hold her hand. No. I listen to my own thoughts and I feel sick. I am writing a fictional script to save him. Every time I find a crack in our marriage, I build a bridge of excuses to walk over it. 6 years of practice makes it automatic. I stand up. My reflection in the mirror shows the exact same woman from yesterday. Brown hair pulled back into a low ponytail. Dark circles under warm brown eyes. Short fingernails bitten down to the quick. But the woman inside the skin is completely still. The panic is gone. The excuses are burned away. Garrett leaves for a 2-day work trip tomorrow afternoon. I slide the positive test into a clear sandwich bag. I walk quietly out of the bathroom and into the bedroom. I lift the heavy bedskirt and drop the bag straight into the cardboard shoebox with my 63 used needles. He never looks in there. He thinks it is a box of grief. Now it is a box of truth. The bed springs creak. Garrett rolls over, blinking at the morning light creeping through the blinds. "Morning, babe," he says. His voice is thick and raspy with sleep. "You are up early." I turn around to face the bed. I stretch my facial muscles. I force my lips to curve upward. Just getting my vitamins, I say softly. He reaches his arm out and pulls me down. He kisses my forehead. He smells like mint toothpaste and warm cotton sheets. Normal. Everything is perfectly, flawlessly normal. Except for the plastic stick sitting in my box of failures. Tomorrow he leaves for his trip. Tomorrow I will sit in his chair. Tomorrow I will use his password, and I am going to find out exactly what my husband is buying. Thursday night. The house is completely empty. I look at the yellow sticky note pressed to the bottom edge of the monitor. I reach forward and press the power button. The blue light from the screen washes over my face. The house is so quiet, I can hear the refrigerator humming in the kitchen. Every time I press a key on the mechanical keyboard, the plastic click sounds like a gunshot echoing in the empty rooms. The faint scent of his cologne still lingers on the fabric of the chair. He is miles away on a business trip, but his presence is everywhere. I open the bank website. I type the password from the note. I press enter. The checking account balance loads first. $4,200. I stare at the number. Garrett told me just last week that we had almost enough saved for round 3. A full round of in vitro fertilization costs between $15,000 and $20,000. $4,000 is not almost enough. It is nowhere close. I click on the joint savings account. $1,800. My chest tightens. 2 years ago, that account held $28,000. I remember the exact amount because Garrett kissed my forehead and told me we were perfectly fine, that I should just let him manage the big picture. 28,000 down to 1,800. I navigate to the transfer history. I filter the results. I scroll down. Tori Jensen. Her name repeats down the bright screen. Month after month. 8 continuous months. $1,500, $2,000, $3,500, $2,800, $1,200, $4,000, $3,000, $4,000. I do the math in my head. $22,000. Every single number on that screen equates to a morning I woke up before dawn to inject hormones into my bruised skin. $22,000 is the 3rd round of treatments he told me we could not afford yet. He told me we had to wait. I waited. Every month I asked him when we could try again. Every month he looked at me with those soft, concerned eyes and told me, "Soon, babe." He told me I needed to relax. He said stress makes the process fail. Stress makes it worse. He told me stress was destroying my chances of becoming a mother, while he wired $3,500 to Tori. My hands are steady now. The initial shock freezes into something cold and sharp. I press the buttons on the keyboard to capture the screen. I take a picture of every single transaction line. I open my personal email and attach the images. I send one copy to my private cloud storage. I send the second copy directly to Nina. I pick up my phone. The clock reads 11 at night. I dial her number anyway. She answers on the second ring. 22,000, Nina, I say into the receiver. A long silence follows. Dollars, she asks. Dollars. 8 solid months of transfers. All to Tori Jensen. Do not touch anything else, Nina says. Her voice is awake and commanding. Shut the computer down. Close the browser completely. Come to my office tomorrow afternoon. I end the call. I shut the laptop. I leave everything on the desk exactly as I found it. I wipe my fingerprints off the mouse. I do not delete the browser history. I do not leave a single trace of my presence in his digital world. I did not learn this from a television show. I learned it from 6 years of living with a man who taught me to doubt my own mind. He taught me I was bad with numbers, but I teach 3rd grade math. I know exactly how to subtract. Friday afternoon, 2 o'clock. The traffic in downtown Asheville is heavy. I sit in a leather chair inside Nina's office, watching her read the printed pages of my screenshots. She nods slowly. She sets the papers down and looks at me over her glasses. North Carolina is a fault state, she explains. Adultery bars alimony. When you file a fault-based divorce, Garrett gets absolutely zero spousal support. Furthermore, we will file a dissipation claim for the $22,000. That money is considered marital waste. The judge will force him to return your half from his share of the assets. She leans back in her chair. We also have alienation of affections in this state. You could sue Tori directly for breaking up the marriage, but I advise against playing that card just yet. We keep it as leverage. I listen to her words. Dissipation, fault grounds, alimony bar. For 6 years, my entire vocabulary revolved around egg retrieval follicle counts and progesterone levels. Now, I am learning the language of a war I did not know I was fighting. What do you want to do? Nina asks softly. I look at the floor. I want to know if Tori knows I exist. I want to know if she knows about the medical treatments. Nina tilts her head. Why does that matter? Because if she knows everything, she is just another enemy. But if she does not know, she is his next victim. The following week becomes a quiet, methodical hunt. I go to work. I teach my students. I come home. I cook dinner. And I dig. I start by searching her name on the internet. I find a social media profile for Tori Jensen in Asheville. The account is locked and private, but the tiny, circular profile picture is visible to the public. I zoom in on the image. It is a mirror selfie. She is wearing a fitted dress, her hand resting proudly on a very pregnant belly. A warm ring light illuminates her face. Her biography text simply reads, Mama-to-be. I stare at the background of the photo. Behind her shoulder is a large wooden headboard with a distinct chevron pattern. It is the exact West Elm bed frame I picked out for our master bedroom 3 years ago. Tori took her pregnancy announcement photo standing in my bedroom. My breath catches in my throat. I capture the image on my phone. Step 2 comes entirely by accident. Garrett usually retrieves the mail from our shared community box down the street. It is his rigid routine. But on Wednesday, he leaves for the office an hour early. I walk down to the cluster of metal boxes and turn the key. I pull out a stack of grocery store flyers and restaurant coupons. Tucked in the middle is a thick white envelope, a credit card statement. Discover, the account number ends in 4417. The name printed on the front is Garrett Cole. Garrett always uses our shared Chase card for household expenses. He always brags about the travel points. I have never seen a Discover card in our home. I tear the top of the envelope off. I unfold the thick paper statement. My eyes scan the merchant column. Dr. Kwan Women Health Associates. 3 separate charges. $890. $1,240. $1,070. I read the itemized descriptions. Laboratory fees. Ultrasound imaging. Prenatal vitamins. The total balance on this hidden card is $3,200. I look at the account summary. The card was opened 7 months ago, exactly 2 weeks after our first fertility cycle failed. He did not just slip up. He planned this. He opened a secret line of credit to hide the medical expenses for his pregnant mistress. $22,000 in cash transfers. $3,200 in hidden credit card debt. $25,200 stolen directly from our marriage. I sit in my car in the school parking lot long after the final bell rings. The playground outside my window is completely empty. I look down at my hands, resting on the steering wheel. My fingers are small. My nails are bitten short. These are the hands that carefully prepared 63 injections of hope. Now these same hands grip a piece of paper proving my husband bought prenatal care for someone else using a secret account, all while looking me in the eye and telling me we were too broke to try again for a child of our own. By the 3rd week, my case is absolute. I have the bank transfer records. I have the secret credit card statement. I have the photograph of her pregnant belly in front of my bed. Nina tells me we have enough. She says we can file the paperwork tomorrow morning. It feels like a victory, a cold, hollow victory. I control the narrative now. I know every single detail, and Garrett has absolutely no idea that the ground beneath him is about to collapse. The power dynamic has completely shifted. But I do not tell Nina to file, because I need one more piece of the puzzle. A personal piece. I need to know what Tori knows. On Sunday afternoon, I drive across town. I park my car across the street from a brick apartment complex. I found the address typed into the memo line of one of Garrett's bank transfers. Sitting in the driver's seat, I look up at the second floor. A window with bright yellow curtains. A shadow moves slowly across the thin fabric, the heavy, unmistakable silhouette of a pregnant woman. Tori. I pick up my phone. I create a brand new, empty profile on the picture-sharing application. I search for her private account. I request to send her a direct message. My fingers shake so badly I misspell the first word and have to delete it. Hi, I type. I am Garrett Cole's wife. We need to talk. I hit send. My heart hammers against my ribs like a trapped bird. This is the real threshold. Opening a laptop in an empty house was easy. Reaching out to the woman carrying my husband's child is terrifying. I watch the screen. The small text appears at the bottom, indicating she read the message. 3 gray dots bounce as she starts typing. Then they disappear. They appear again. They vanish. 4 agonizing minutes pass in the quiet car. Finally, a bubble pops up. I do not know what you are talking about. Garrett and I are just friends. I do not hesitate. I type my response. I have 8 months of bank records, $22,000 in transfers, a Discover card ending in 4417 with $3,200 paid to Dr. Kwan, and a picture of you standing in my bedroom. I press send. I wait. The silence stretches out. 1 minute, 3 minutes, 7 minutes. My screen lights up. Can we meet? I stare at those 3 words. A sudden, heavy dread settles in my stomach. 10 minutes ago, I was at the peak of the mountain. I controlled the evidence. But the moment Tori asked to meet, the entire game shifted. She is a variable I cannot control. What does she know about me? Will she panic and run? Will she immediately pick up the phone and warn Garrett? I realize I am afraid, not of Garrett, but of myself. I am terrified that if I sit across a table and look at her 6-month pregnant belly, my resolve will shatter. I am afraid the grief of seeing his child in someone else's body will turn me back into the weak, pitiful wife begging for scraps of love instead of the woman holding the knife. I force my thumbs to type. Thursday, 2 in the afternoon, Liberty House Coffee on Haywood. I send the location. I lock my phone and drop it into the passenger seat. My hands have finally stopped shaking. I stare out the windshield at the yellow curtains on the second floor, and I honestly do not know if stopping the tremor is a good thing or a very bad thing. I arrive at Liberty House Coffee 20 minutes early. I pick a small wooden table in the back corner. The brick wall is solid against my spine. From here, I have a clear view of the heavy glass door opening onto Haywood Street. I order a chai tea latte. I wrap both hands around the ceramic mug, but I do not take a single sip. Inside my leather purse, resting against my knee, is a thick manila folder. It holds the printed bank transfers. It holds the secret Discover card statement. It holds the photograph of a pregnant belly resting against my own bedroom furniture. I am sitting perfectly still. My breathing is deep and rhythmic. For the first time in 2 years, I am not the confused, grieving wife. I am the woman holding the knife. The heavy glass door swings open. Tori walks inside. She is wearing an oversized flannel shirt that fails to hide the obvious heavy curve of her 6-month pregnancy. Her face is completely bare. No makeup. Her eyes are swollen and rimmed with red. She spots me in the corner. She walks over slowly, pulling out the metal chair opposite mine. She sits down. She looks at my untouched tea. She looks at the heavy purse resting against my leg. She knows I found out, I think to myself. I wait for her to apologize. I wait for the excuses. But Tori speaks first. He told me you two were separated, she says. Her voice is a thin, raw whisper. He said the marriage was over 2 years ago. He told me you did not want children. He said you only cared about your teaching career. I stare at her across the small table. The cafe noise around us seems to drop away. Garrett and I live in the exact same house, I say. My voice is quiet, but it carries. We sleep in the exact same bed, and for the last 2 years I have injected 63 separate hormone shots into my own stomach because I want a child more than I want air in my lungs. All the remaining color drains out of Tori's face. Her mouth opens slightly. In vitro fertilization, she asks. He told me you refused to even try. We tried twice, I tell her. Both failed. We spent $28,000 of our joint savings. When I asked him to try a third time, Garrett looked me in the eye and said we did not have enough money. He told me we had to wait. But now I know exactly where the money went. Tori instinctively crosses her arms over her stomach, a protective, terrified reflex. He pays my rent, she whispers. He said he had plenty of money to take care of me and the baby. Are you telling me he is using your medical money for my apartment? $22,000 through bank transfers, I say? Plus, a hidden Discover card he opened 7 months ago. He put $3,200 on that secret card to pay your obstetrician, Dr. Kwan. Tori pushes her chair back. The metal legs scrape loudly against the hardwood floor. She stands up. She sits back down immediately. Her hands grip the edge of the table so hard her knuckles turn white. I did not know, she says. Her chest heaves. I swear to you, Andrea, I did not know. I look at her red eyes. I look at her shaking hands, and I believe her. I recognize the exact mechanism of the trap she is sitting in. Garrett used the exact same script on both of us. He told me I was overthinking, that she was just a sister who needed a friend. He told her I was a cold, career-obsessed wife who refused to give him a family. 2 women, 1 liar. 2 entirely different realities constructed so perfectly that neither of us ever thought to look behind the curtain. Then the phone sitting next to Tori's elbow begins to vibrate. She looks down at the glowing screen. Her face goes from pale to an ashen gray. Garrett, she whispers. He knows I am here. My fingers tighten on my coffee mug. How? Because I called him, Tori says. Her voice breaks completely. After you sent me that message online. I panicked. I did not know what was happening. I called him and asked what you meant about the money. A block of solid ice drops directly into my stomach. The confident woman sitting against the brick wall vanishes. My false victory crumbles into dust. I did not have the element of surprise anymore. I handed it away. My own phone vibrates inside my purse. I pull it out. The screen shows a text from Garrett. Babe, we need to talk. Come home. I read the words twice. His tone is not panicked. It is not angry. It is terrifyingly, unnaturally calm. He has already built his new reality. I drive back to our house. The afternoon sun is sinking, casting long shadows across the driveway. I walk through the front door. The house smells intensely of vanilla candles. The kitchen island is completely wiped down and polished. 2 glass mugs of chamomile tea sit on the granite counter. Garrett is sitting on a bar stool. His laptop is open in front of him. He is looking right at the login history page of our joint bank account. He knows exactly what I looked at. He is wearing the soft blue sweater I bought him for his birthday. The entire room is staged for comfort, weaponized comfort. I walk into the kitchen. I do not touch the tea. Babe, he says softly. His voice is smooth and gentle. Sit down. We need to clear the air. Tori is going through a terrible financial crisis. She lost her freelance contracts. The rent money was just me helping out a friend. I did it quietly because I knew you would stress over the budget. It is nothing else. She is 6 months pregnant, Garrett, I say. A small silence stretches between us. That is not my child, he says without blinking. Discover card ending in 4417, I say. My voice stays entirely flat. Dr. Kwan Women Health Associates, $3,200. You opened a secret credit card to pay for her prenatal visits. The gentle mask slides off his face in less than a second. His posture straightens. His shoulders square toward me. You went through my mail, he asks. The volume of his voice doubles. You hacked into my personal laptop. You are stalking Tori on the internet. Do you have any idea that what you are doing is illegal? Do you know what a judge is going to think when he hears about a wife creeping through private accounts and hunting down a pregnant woman? I just stare at him. The pivot is so fast it gives me whiplash. He leans forward. His eyes suddenly look wet and red. Andrea, do you have any idea how much pressure I am under? I work double shifts. I manage extra projects just to pay for these endless medical treatments. I am killing myself for this family. And you repay me by digging through my things like a paranoid spy. What kind of person does that? My throat tightens. Part of my brain recognizes exactly what he is doing. Nina warned me about this exact pattern. He denies the truth. He attacks my sanity. He reverses the roles so he becomes the victim. But recognizing the tactic does not make me immune to it. 6 years of marriage pulls at my chest. The old familiar instinct to apologize flares up in my throat. I want to tell him I am sorry for looking. I want to believe there is a logical reason. Then he keeps talking. This stress you cause, Garrett says, his voice dropping into a harsh whisper. This constant paranoid anxiety. That is exactly why the fertility treatments keep failing. The doctors told you stress ruins the cycles. You overthink everything. You destroyed your own chances of having a child. The air in the kitchen completely stops moving. The temperature in the room seems to drop 10 degrees. I look at the steaming mug of chamomile tea, the tea he bought to help me relax. You are telling me I destroyed my own chances of becoming a mother, I say slowly. You are telling me it is my fault. While you used the money meant for my medical care to raise a child outside of our marriage. Babe, listen to me, he starts. Do not call me babe. Garrett's face hardens into stone. Fine. You want to tear this apart, go ahead. But you need to know something. I already spoke to my lawyer this afternoon. I will file the divorce papers first, and I will tell the court that you are unstable. I will show them you hacked my computer and stalked an innocent woman. What story do you think a judge will believe, a hard-working husband or a woman who went completely paranoid because her body failed to carry a child? Because that is the story I am going to tell. I look at the man sitting on the bar stool. The husband is gone. The man who rubbed my stomach and promised me a family is gone. Sitting in his place is a stranger holding a knife to my throat. I turn around. I pick up my purse from the entryway table. I am going to stay at Nina House tonight, I say. Running away does not solve anything, Andrea, he calls out behind me. I stop with my hand on the brass doorknob. I do not turn around. I'm not running, I say. I am leaving. By 11 o'clock that night, I am sitting on a soft floral sofa in Nina living room. A heavy woolen blanket is wrapped tightly around my shoulders. My face feels tight from crying. Black mascara is smeared across one of her decorative pillows. The house smells like old books and dried lavender. It is a stranger house, but it feels safer than my own kitchen. Nina sets a steaming mug of dark Earl Grey tea on the coaster in front of me. The antique clock on her wall ticks in a steady, calming rhythm. I finish telling her exactly what Garrett said. The threat about the judge. The threat about filing first. He is bluffing, Nina says. She sits in the armchair across from me. He will never file first. He absolutely does not want a judge ordering discovery on his bank accounts and that hidden credit card. He is trying to scare you into backing down. I hear her words, but they float past me. The legal strategy does not matter right now. Something much heavier is breaking open inside my chest. I pull my hands out from under the blanket. I look at my fingernails. They are bitten down so far the skin around them is red and sore. Every time a cycle failed, I cut them. I bit them. I tried to control the only tiny piece of my body that I could still manage. Every time Garrett told me to relax, every time he said my anxiety was ruining our chances, I agreed with him. I drank the herbal tea. I did the breathing exercises. I swallowed the vitamin. I locked myself in a prison built entirely out of his words. If the treatments failed, it was because I was not calm enough. It was my fault. He did not help me manage my stress. He trained me to doubt my own reality. He trained me to keep my head down and never look at the bank accounts. Because if I was a perfect, calm, accommodating wife, I would get a baby. And getting a baby meant I finally mattered. Motherhood was the only identity I had left. I look up from my hands. Nina, I ask softly, if I never have a child, am I anyone? Nina stops drinking her tea. She sets the cup down on the saucer with a soft clink. She looks at me for a long, quiet moment. You are Andrea Cole, she says. Her voice is fierce and incredibly steady. You teach 23 children how to read and understand the world every single day. You are your mother-daughter. You are a woman sitting on my couch at 11 at night after discovering your husband stole your money and your dream. And instead of breaking windows, you are asking the brave questions. Who you are has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not you can produce a child. A different kind of tear slides down my cheek. I am not crying for Garrett. I am crying for the 19-year-old girl standing in a hospital room 12 years ago. My mother held my hand, her skin smelling of iodine and bleach, and she told me I would only truly understand her when I became a mother myself. I took those words and turned them into a holy mission. But sitting in this quiet living room, I finally understand her. I understand the strength it takes to face a devastating truth and refuse to shatter. My mother had that strength long before she ever had me. I reach up and wipe my face with the back of my hand. My chest feels lighter. The frantic, hollow desperation that drove me for 2 years is simply gone. Nina, I say. The tremor in my voice fades. Tomorrow I am going to meet Tori again. Nina raises an eyebrow. To confront her? No, I say. To show her the text messages. I am going to show her exactly what he said to me, and she is going to tell me exactly what he said to her. 2 stories. One liar. He thinks he isolated us. He is wrong. Friday morning brings a cold, clear sky. At 11 o'clock, I stand in the hallway of a brick apartment building on the east side of town. I knock on the wooden door. Tori opens it. She steps aside and lets me in. The apartment is small. Pinned to the front of her refrigerator is a glossy ultrasound photograph. I stop and look at it. A sharp ache blooms in my chest, but it is entirely different from the pain I felt 3 weeks ago. I do not feel jealousy. I feel a deep, heavy grief for the child in that picture. She is going to be born into a world where her father is a ghost made of lies. I walk to the small dining table. I open my purse. I pull out 2 thick manila folders and lay them flat on the smooth wood. I tap the first folder. This is what Garrett told me, I say. It has the bank statements, the hidden credit card bills, and a timeline of every excuse he gave me for the last 2 years. I tap the second folder. This is what he told you. I wrote down everything you said at the coffee shop. Tori sits down. We open the folders together. Garrett told me you were single, I say. He told me you had a bad breakup and just needed a friend. Tori stares at the paper. He told me you two had been legally separated for 2 years. Garrett told me my anxiety was destroying our fertility treatments, I say. My voice remains completely level. He told me I needed to relax so we could have a baby. He told me you refused to have children, Tori whispers. She traces a finger over the printed words. He told me you only cared about your teaching career. I open the bank statement. Garrett told me we did not have enough money to try another medical cycle. He said we were broke. Tori looks at the rows of printed numbers. The $22,000 in bank transfers. The $3,200 on the secret Discover card. He told me he had plenty of money to take care of me and the baby, she says. Every single comparison is a blade cutting through the thick fog of his deception. Tori rests her hand on her pregnant stomach. He used your medical money to pay my rent, she says. Her breathing turns shallow. He opened a secret credit card to pay for my doctor appointments, while he looked at you and said you could not afford to have a baby. I nod slowly. Tori closes the folder. The apartment is dead silent. What do you need from me? She asks. I need your bank records, I tell her. I need your text messages. I need your saved voicemails. I need a record of every single promise he made to you. My lawyer is filing a fault-based divorce. I am filing a dissipation claim to recover the $25,200 he stole from our marriage. I pause and look directly into her eyes. North Carolina law allows me to sue you directly for alienation of affections. I could drag you into court. But I will not do that. I will drop that threat completely if you cooperate with me. You were manipulated just like I was. I want him. I do not want you. Tori holds my gaze for a long time. She takes a deep breath. Deal. Sunday evening arrives. The sun is dipping below the tree line as I pull into my own driveway. I gather the folders. I grab the heavy cardboard shoebox from the passenger seat. I unlock the front door and step inside. Garrett is already home. The house smells overwhelmingly of sweet vanilla. He lit the expensive candles I usually save for holidays. The kitchen counters are completely cleared off. 2 large crystal glasses of red wine sit on the island. He is wearing the dark green sweater I bought him for our anniversary. The entire scene is a carefully constructed stage. I walk into the kitchen. I do not touch the wine. Babe, he says. He walks toward me, his hands held open. I have been doing a lot of thinking. We need each other. We can fix this. I will pay for the 3rd round of treatments myself. Tori was a mistake. I am cutting contact with her. Completely. I stand perfectly still. I let him commit himself entirely to this new narrative. Garrett, I say, my voice is quiet. Tori is 6 months pregnant with your child. You are planning to completely cut off the mother of your baby, he shifts his weight. That is a private matter between me and Tori. No, I say. It is a matter between me, you, Tori, and the $25,200 you stole from this family. I pull my phone from my pocket. I open the photo gallery. I bring up the bank transfer history. I do not show him the screen. I just read it out loud. January, $1,500. February, $2,000. March, $3,500. Garrett's face flushes dark red. Stop, he says. April, $2,800. May, $1,200. I said stop, he demands. June, $4,000. July, $3,000. August, $4,000. I lock the phone and set it on the granite counter. Total cash transfers, $22,000. I reach into my purse. I pull out the thick paper statement, Discover card ending in 4417. You opened it 7 months ago to hide the paper trail. Dr. Kwan Women Health Associates, $890. $1,240. $1,070. Total secret credit debt, $3,200. Grand total, $25,200. Would you like me to read the itemized laboratory fees? Garrett steps forward and slams his hand down on the counter. The wine glasses rattle. You have absolutely no right to go through my private mail. Sit down. I do not yell. I drop my voice an entire octave. It is the exact tone I use in my classroom when 23 children are screaming and I need absolute compliance. Garrett blinks. He slowly pulls out a bar stool and sits down. I open my bag wider. I pull out the cardboard shoebox. I set it directly in the center of the kitchen island. I pull off the lid. Inside lies a pile of plastic medical waste, and resting perfectly in the center is the clear sandwich bag holding the pregnancy test. 63 needles, I say. I counted them. You let me count every single agonizing shot while you counted the money you sent to her. And this plastic stick, I found it wedged behind the toilet in our master bathroom. She took a pregnancy test inside my house. Garrett looks at the cardboard box. He looks at the needles. He stares at the 2 pink lines in the plastic window. The silence in the kitchen is absolute. He has no lies left. He cannot deny the physical objects sitting on the counter. He cannot reverse the blame. The financial records, the timeline, and the medical waste build a solid brick wall around him. He grips the edge of the granite counter. His shoulders slump. I just wanted to be a father, he whispers. I want to be a mother too, I say. The truth rings clear and solid in the room. But I do not steal your dreams to pay for mine. You thought I was bad with numbers. I teach math. To third graders. I reach into my bag one last time. I pull out a thick white envelope and slide it across the smooth stone counter until it touches his hand. Divorce papers, I tell him. Fault-based. Nina Vance is representing me. The paperwork includes a dissipation claim for $25,200. Under North Carolina law, your adultery completely bars you from ever requesting alimony. Garrett looks at the envelope but does not touch it. Tori, he says, his voice completely hollow. She talked to you. You told her I did not want children, I say. She was incredibly eager to find out what I actually wanted. I pick up the cardboard box. I leave the envelope sitting next to his untouched wine. I turn around and walk toward the front door. The expensive vanilla candles are still burning on the mantel. I do not blow them out. Garrett can extinguish them himself, or he can let them burn down to the glass. It is his house now. 3 weeks later, a bright, breezy Saturday morning. I am kneeling in the soft dirt in Nina's backyard. I dig my hands into the dark soil, packing it carefully around the base of a small tomato plant. For the first time in 2 years, the constant buzzing anxiety in my head is gone. Garrett signed the papers. He did not fight. When Nina presented him with the bank records, the hidden credit card statements, and 30 pages of text messages voluntarily provided by Tori, his lawyer advised him to surrender. He did not want a public trial. We listed the house for sale on Tuesday. Because of the dissipation claim, I received the vast majority of the equity. Tori contacted me exactly one more time. She sent me a picture of her final ultrasound. The message simply said, "It is a girl." I sat on my temporary bed in Nina's guest room and looked at the black and white image for a long time. I cried. I let the tears fall, but they were clean. They were not tears of jealousy or bitter anger. It was just a quiet, healthy grief for the child I do not have. Then I typed my reply. She is very lucky to have a mother who knows how to look for the truth. I pressed send. I deleted the entire conversation thread. I closed that door forever. I stand up and brush the dirt from my knees. Last night, Nina helped me fill out the financial aid paperwork to re-enroll in the dental hygienist program I abandoned 3 years ago. Classes start next month. Later that afternoon, I sit in my car in a busy pharmacy parking lot. The sun glares off the chrome bumpers around me. I drop my sunglasses. I lean over and slide my hand blindly into the dark space under the passenger seat to retrieve them. My fingers brush against something soft and crumpled. My heart executes a massive, violent jump against my ribs. It is a pure reflex, a ghost of a memory. I pull the object out into the sunlight. It is just an old, discarded paper napkin. I stare at the crumpled paper for a second. Then I laugh. It starts small, a quiet chuckle in my chest, and grows into a real, genuine laugh. It is a bittersweet sound, but it is entirely mine. I pick up my phone from the cup holder. I open my email. The message at the top of my inbox is from the college admissions office. The subject line simply reads, "Accepted." I rest my hands on the top of the steering wheel. I look down at my fingers. For the first time in countless months, I have not bitten them. The white edges of my fingernails extend past the nail beds. They are short, but they are there. I do not need to cut them anymore. I do not need to control every tiny aspect of my body. I am finally letting something grow. I do not have a child. I do not know if I ever will. But I have my own name. I am Andrea Cole. I am a teacher. I am a student. I am a woman who survived 63 needles, $25,000 in stolen money, a pregnancy test hidden behind a toilet and a door. I finally learned how to open for myself. I shift the car into drive. I pull out of the parking lot and merge onto the busy avenue. I keep my eyes on the road ahead. I do not look in the rearview mirror even once. How many times have you looked at a massive red flag and painted it white just to keep the peace in your own home? Andrea's story is a profound reminder of how easily we can lose ourselves when we desperately want to believe in the people we love. It is terrifyingly simple to hand over the keys to your own reality. When you love someone, you want to trust them. But there is a massive difference between trusting your partner and abandoning yourself. The hardest, most concrete lesson we can pull from the ashes of this marriage is about the insidious nature of emotional manipulation and financial control. When someone repeatedly tells you that you are overthinking, that you are too emotional, or that your personal anxiety is the root cause of your shared problems, they are not offering comfort. They are actively disarming you. They are training you to doubt your own mind so they can operate freely in the dark. You must never surrender your financial awareness just because someone else claims to be better with numbers. You are never too bad at math to log into your own bank account. You are never too stressed to look at a credit card statement. Your financial independence is the armor that protects your choices, and you must never take it off. Beyond the money, there is a much deeper truth about self-worth. Andrea tied her entire identity, her entire right to exist and be loved, to the absolute pursuit of motherhood. She believed that if she just suffered enough, if she was just accommodating and quiet enough, she would finally earn the baby that would make her life complete. But your worth as a woman is not a prize you win for being a perfect wife, and it is certainly not measured by your ability to produce a child. You are not a vessel. You are not a supporting character in a story written by your husband. You are a complete, whole, and inherently valuable human being, exactly as you are right now, whether you are raising a house full of children or starting over entirely on your own. The moment you stop shrinking to fit into the false narrative someone else wrote for you is the moment your real life begins. Andrea had to let go of the future she desperately wanted in order to survive the present she was actually living in. She had to stop cutting away pieces of herself to make room for his lies. It takes an agonizing amount of courage to look at the absolute worst-case scenario and accept it as the absolute truth. But the truth is the only foundation solid enough to build a new life upon. Now, take a moment and look closely at your own journey. Have you ever found yourself building bridges of excuses for a person who was actively tearing you down behind your back? Have you ever had to walk away from the life you painstakingly planned in order to finally reclaim your own voice, your own value? Please share your experiences in the comments below, because your story of survival might be the exact piece of truth another woman desperately needs to hear today.